Today's MMA T Company fight preview is with Derik Overstreet. Derik is going to be making his second professional walk to the MMA cage when he fights Dylan Abuka at Premier MMA Championships 19. That's going to be on January 22nd. Derik, thanks for joining me today. I know you got this fight in about 10, 11 days. So just talk me through where your head's at right now. Either starting your weight cut soon or, and in your sparring sessions, where are you at with all that in your training?
I think I'm going out and train today, and then I got one more sparring session probably tomorrow. Then after that, it's mostly just focused on getting the weight off. So in a good spot. It's been a good camp.
And when you say it's been a good camp, I always like to just kind of ask fighters what that means. Have you been focusing on something specifically for Dylan? Have you been working on, anything particular that made it a good camp, or was it just that it was injury-free and that makes it good?
I mean, yeah, being injury-free is, I never take that for granted. I feel like my cardio and strength is probably the best it's ever been proportionately. Learned a lot of good new stuff. There's stuff that I haven't really worked on directly or been comfortable enough to use in actual fights and sparring and stuff that I am now. So it's just going to be it's going to be a different look. It's going to be a different, newer stuff, and I'm evolving as a fighter and everything. So that's just exciting to actually be able to put out on paper and video.
Yeah, that's I think it's something that a lot of people underestimate is what you hit on with doing something in training for so long before you're comfortable doing it in a fight. And you've had, a decent amount of fights at this point. It's going to be your second pro fight, good handful of amateur fights as well. What is that? What is building that confidence like? Is it doing just tons of reps in the gym and then moving it to sparring? Is it feeling it come naturally in sparring as opposed to forcing it? When do you feel like it's ready to take it from the gym to the cage?
I think you got it pretty well in that you learn a technique, and then it starts off with you making yourself use it in sparring, and then it elevates to you naturally doing stuff in the process of motions and enrolling and everything else, to where it's part of what you are now, instead of you having to actively think like, oh, I should use this then, this should come out then. So basically making stuff more natural instead of robotic and thought out. But yeah, you can go ahead.
You see people do it all the time in the cage, right? The announcers will talk about how he's fluid in his movements, and it looks like he's just in that flow state. And it becomes something where you want to live in that state, right? You want to be able to, whatever happens, if you slip and there's something off of that slip every time, or you catch a knee when he's coming in, anything like that, right, is where you want to be for when you're actually getting into the cage.
Yeah, I mean, it's that natural reaction is really important, because I feel like you can just, one of the big reasons I've been liking MMA is that you can't think that much when you're going. So it'd be a real difficult situation being in a fight, like, oh, my professor taught me to throw this exactly this moment, I should do this. And then you wake up, you wake up in the hospital somewhere. It's just not not the best time to be doing anything. So it's been really it's been a big positive that newer stuff that not even newer stuff, just stuff that I haven't been actively putting out on film and everything is coming through now in a way where I know I can use it in fights.
And one thing that we know you are, actively putting on film and have been using since I've been watching you fight, are just your techniques in the clinch, the knees, the elbows, all of those things. They're vicious, and they just look like they hurt, and they've been putting a lot of people down just with body shots. Watching your tapes, you put people down with body shots with knees constantly. Is that something your training partners just don't look forward to when you're sparring with them, or is it something that you're kind of light and like touch and go, and then you work it hard on the bag? Or how do you get into that mode where you're, okay, that one hurt, now I'm going to finish you?
It's a lot of bag work. Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt my training partners or anything. So it's more just putting stuff in certain places and touching in the clinch and sparring. But you're not going to beat a bag. Like, that bag is always going to win. So just a lot of reps and cardio and stuff in terms of clinching the bag and working on that stuff. It makes you stronger, I found, when the fight actually comes out. The the same things where I get tired on the bag puts people down in fights.
Okay. You mentioned your cardio twice now, your strength a couple times, and it seems like you're really confident right where you are with in terms of your cardio, strength and conditioning, some new techniques. Now it's been a year, right? You fought Dylan once before as amateurs, beat him the unanimous decision. Why take another fight with Dylan at this point? Is it something he called for, you called for? Was the matchmaker just like, you guys should fight each other now for Dylan's pro debut? How did that come up?
He asked for me, so obviously he got personally hurt in that last fight. Now he's going to get hurt again.
And is there, anything you noticed from your last fight with him that makes you feel that way? Is there anything that you think you can exploit on him this second time, or is it just that you're a better fighter than him, you're going to go out and show it?
All of the above. I mean, it's I don't think that there's that much you can really change just in 1 year. I mean, you can, but like who you are is who you are, really. And I've seen some of that, and I mean, it's just there's stuff that was happening in the lead up to the last fight that I haven't even told anybody about, that also, I feel like that fight straight up, it shouldn't have went to decision. And I see that now, and I get frustrated watching it, but I'm glad I got another chance to fix it now. So yeah, he asked for that fight, so he's gonna get what he wants on that one, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess that's he feels confident in something, and wants to come in and kind of show, I guess, he's a new fighter in a year. So that's the fun part of fighting it out, right? You get to see, where you've come, where he's come, and see what a year made for both of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's an individual sport and a combat sport, so you get to see the physical representation of stuff actually does change. So again, it's we're gonna find out either way. So I look forward to it.
And another thing that I know you've been real passionate about for this fight is the t-shirt fundraiser that you're doing. I think everybody knows the devastation that happened down in Bowling Green, an area where you're at, and luckily for you, you're in pretty good shape, but a lot of people in your community were not. So just talk to me about what things are like down in Bowling Green right now. What people can do to help, what you're able to do to help people out, how people are coming together as a community.
That tornado took out a full-on section. So the bypass is a few miles in length, and there's blocks where the buildings are just gone. All the windows are out. There's one of my sponsors, Cape Buenos, the building doesn't exist anymore. There's people that lost houses, or people that are still displaced now. You still see trees and remnants and stuff everywhere. So it was a really significant disaster that happened. And one of the more inspiring things is that in the reaction to it, it seemed like it just brought Bowling Green together, as in more people working to do mutual aid stuff, more people working to actually try to help their neighbors and keep the community afloat. And in that, I'll try to do what little I can, be that picking stuff up or doing a fundraiser through y'all with the t-shirts. So I appreciate y'all even giving me the opportunity to do that stuff, because it means a lot. And I feel like I wouldn't be much of a person if I have sponsors and people that watch my fights and support me and everything, and I didn't try to help the community back up around me when stuff actually happened. So yeah, there's been a lot of cleanup effort. FEMA came through recently. There's people still running fundraisers and getting food to people, and trying to keep the lights on and everything. So anything I can do to help that stuff, I will. And everybody around Bowling Green seems to be in that same mindset, especially downtown. So it's been good to, even with that big negative, it gives me a little bit of hope for the community and everything around me. Because,
it seems like
for self.
Yeah, it seems like things like that really show what a community is made of. And from talking to you a little bit and seeing what I'm able to see on the news, out here in Pennsylvania, we don't get, we got the national coverage with them. We don't get to see your local day to day, but it seems like that community specifically really banded together, and everybody, neighbors helping neighbors, and people, coming from all over the place to help out. How does that feel, being just a part of that community and seeing, neighbors who might have lost something being helped by all these other people around town?
It's cool because I've been in other situations where that didn't happen. Like I'm from Paducah, and there was an ice storm back then, and this amount of relief and like cooperation and FEMA showing up on time, like that stuff just didn't happen over there. It's only 2 hours away. So it's really drastic to see the difference in response and just collectivization by the community and everything else. Like it's inspiring. It lets me know I'm in a good place, or there's good people out there at all that feel that passionately so they're going to devote hours and hours of days into just trying to help people. Even if they didn't get personally affected, they're doing it themselves.
Yeah, I think it's just a great thing to see. And at any time, you never want any kind of disaster or anything to happen. But when the communities come together like that, it makes, like you said, reaffirms that there are good people out there and there's good things happening in the world.
Definitely. Yeah, it's been, again, it was a terrible thing, but it is inspiring seeing the response that came out of that. And you can take a positive away from anything, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything we can do to help, or whatever we can do, reach out to us, and we're happy to help. Like I said before, just before I let you go, wanted to give you one more chance to kind of shout out your sponsors. I know you kind of said one was affected negatively by the tornado, but I know you have a bunch of sponsors. You work with a bunch of people. Wanted to just give you a chance to shout them out and give them some love before we sign off.
We bust out the list here. Yeah, it's a few. So yeah, K Buenos, they lost their full-on whole establishment. They've still stayed strong through everything. They can rebuild, and I just appreciate them staying steady through all that stuff. Brandon Alexander, Bowling Green Boxing, Little Fox Bakery, Coach Cam is a producer. He's been going hard as hell with everything recently in terms of running. He made me a promo video, which I appreciate because he didn't have to do that at all. Bet City Vintage, Fuel Nutrition, Molotov Skate Shop. It doesn't feel like I have this many sponsors, so it's weird to even say it out loud. Again, yeah, I just appreciate everybody around Bowling Green that's helped me out in this kind of way. Thrax THC, which is a company over in West Virginia. They've been amazing too recently. Donna's, it's a bar downtown that I worked at also, so they didn't have to help me out like that, but they're just cool. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, I think that's wow, I actually got everybody. But yeah, I got a lot of people in my corner, and that's not even to include like my friends and family, girlfriend, teammates, gym at Nashville and the boxing gym up here. Having all this support around me helps me out. It makes everything easier on my end. And knowing that this many people surprisingly support this goofy shit that I'm doing, beating people up, is again, I wouldn't feel like much of a person, of a good person anyway, if I didn't try to pay that back in some kind of way. So even rolling into this fight, whatever I can do to help anybody else or around Bowling Green or Kentucky in general that's affected by stuff, I'm going to do that. So whatever little light I got to help through this violent ass sport that I do, I'm going to do that.
Awesome, man. We're looking forward to you being violent on the 22nd. Love watching you fight. It's going to be an exciting show. It's Derik Overstreet. You're going to be fighting on Premier 18, January 22nd. Kick some ass. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Appreciate you having me in.
Awesome. Thank you.